Hey, today I'm going to tell you a little story about a time when seatbelts, car seats, harnesses, seatbelts, made me lose about every single one of my marbles. It all started about a year ago, probably. At that time, we were in our house we were in now, but we were in a different school district. So I had to drive the kids, all five. I had to get in the van every morning and drive them to school. And I say it was just our normal routine, but really there's no such thing as a routine morning in our house because you never know what you're gonna get. Every single morning can be different. Who can't find their shoes? Who can't find their backpack? Who has to go poop last second? I mean, when does that ever not happen? So, mornings are just a little bit chaotic. It is what it is. So I would say I'd probably been having had been having some pretty chaotic, frustrating mornings for me, because I feel like it had been just the frustration had been building up recently at that time. And so that morning, there's one morning where I'm sure it was one kid wouldn't put shoes on. I think refused to put shoes on. James was my youngest. He was 2 at the time. He was working on a poop in his diaper, and he cannot be rushed. That kid cannot be rushed. He needs his time. There's nothing you can do about it. Typically, we try to leave at a time where we're early on time. We're never early anywhere, really, but I call it early on time, or maybe we're a little late on time. I hate being late. That's just who I am. But so I usually try and work in some extra space and time in there, so if we run into these issues, we'll still make it. So like I said, had some issues going on already that morning. Come on guys. Now here's my little trick for my mental frustrations. If I cannot get them all out in the garage or out in the van, I'll come back in to grab my last minute things. And sometimes I just let whatever my heart needs to let out. I just let all the words come out that feel a little pent up inside of me, if you understand what I'm saying. And I try to collect myself and then head back out to the car. So when I get out there, at the time, it was Lucas. He was 3 at the time. Lucas just wouldn't get in his car seat. And if you know a 3-year-old, there's not a whole lot you can do to change their mind easily. So, I start kind of even keel, take it easy on him, and I'm just like, hey buddy, we've got to get going to school. We've got to get your brother and sisters to school. So I need you to get in your car seat so we can do that safely. And it was just a no across the board. So then, you start getting a little more frustrated and, raising your voice. All right, bud, we're getting in the car seat right now, and trying to get him in there. And then the next thing you know, you're trying to force your kid to sit in the car seat, which isn't all that smart anyways, because your kid can get out of his car seat. He knows how to get out of that, the seatbelt. So even if you force him into it, he can get out of it. So all this is going through my mind, and we are reaching that point where we're late on time now. We are pushing it. We are getting close to the edge of being on time. And that just sets my nerves just are going off, and I'm getting more and more upset. Other kids are frustrated, and it just keeps working its way up inside of me. So at some point, like, I am reaching the edge of an anxiety attack. I feel the tears welling up, and I feel my throat getting tighter and my chest getting tighter. And I don't know what to do. All that's going through my head is, we're late, we're gonna be late, we're gonna be late. And I'm so frustrated. And I finally say, fine, don't sit in your car seat. And I get in the front seat and I turn the car on and I start driving. So our neighborhood, and the way to get to school, we have to drive through several neighborhood streets before we get out onto bigger roads, busier roads. So I start driving, and I am like kind of one of those moms that, like, car seats and seatbelts are a big deal. Like, I follow the rules. Well, can you imagine what's going through my brain as that type of mom on the verge of an anxiety attack, knowing my kid's not buckled? I get down 2 streets. I take a left and I get down to the end of the other street. And I'm looking over, and here's Lucas's head peeking through, like right next to me, because he's just standing between the seats. And I stopped the car and I just broke into tears. I had just completely reached the last point of return. I couldn't control myself, my frustration anymore. I was at a complete loss, having a complete anxiety attack. I think I got out of the van to go and, like, forcefully get him back in his car seat, and I just stopped. And I had a couple kids crying, a couple other kids crying, and just that feeling of, like, what are you doing? And I got back in the car and I drove back home, parked in the garage, and I just called my husband, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I have completely lost it. He will not get in the car or in the seat, in his seatbelt. I'm not going to drive all the way to school with him walking around. I don't know what else to do. And he doesn't look at me. He says to me on the phone, he says, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to be late. Big deal. And he's right. That's it. And here I was, just on the brink of collapse. And my kids were upset. Just everything. It was just this sheer moment of just chaos and just severe emotions over being late to school. So I took a few minutes to calm myself down, and wouldn't you know it, the next time I look at Lucas and I say, buddy, can you please get in your seat? Okay, Mom. And he gets in his seat. So they were a little late. Did anyone care? No. So let me tell you another story that happened not too long ago. It was probably like 3 months ago. And now I bring my 2 little boys to their preschool a couple days a week. And it's the same thing. Mornings, you just never know. You really never know. And I think that morning, once again, Lucas probably refused to put his shoes on. James, I believe, was working on a poop and was not going to be bothered by me trying to rush him along. So, you know, we're getting to that point where we're gonna be late on time. We're pushing it, and I'm getting frustrated, and I'm watching the clock, and I'm, come on guys, we gotta go. And I was just getting nothing but stubborn 3 and 4-year-old no, you know. it dawned on me. I just sat down and I said, okay, fine. You tell me when you're ready to go. So I call my husband and I say to him, well, it's 9 o'clock. We are officially late to school. We have not left. We are still hanging out at home. And just like before, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to be late. And as hard as that is for me, I sat there and I waited, and probably 10 minutes later, James was ready to have his diaper changed. Luke finally gave in to, I don't know, his shoes or whatever thing was setting him off that morning. And I probably bribed him too, because that's sometimes the only way that they get in the car. But they finally did get in the car, and we showed up, and we were 15-20 minutes late, and we walk in and I'm profusely apologizing. I'm so sorry we're late. And they're all just like, yeah, we're just glad you're here. And nobody cared. Not a single person cared that they were late. And it's just, you know, I'm a perfectionist. I was a perfectionist when I was young. I hate being late. It's who I am. And as much as you want to be a perfectionist for yourself, when there are toddlers involved, it's not your choice. You are living in their world. And as much as you want to say that you've got control and can, you know, make them do whatever it is that you need them to do, it's not worth the mental breakdowns. It's not worth the energy. Pick and choose your battles, because you give yourself some grace. You need to give yourself some grace, because some of these things just don't matter in the long run, and it's okay. And it's okay to be mediocre at times. I'm still working on that. So, I hope you all have a great day, and until next time.